I wanted to talk about tuning into your emotions. Stay tuned because I'm going to share 3 different things that we want to consider when we're talking about tuning into emotions and how we can do this. So, are you ready to get started? Because I am. Hey, my friend, welcome back. If this is your first time, hey, I'm so glad you found us. I'm so glad you're here. Please let me know you're new here by throwing that down below in the comments or giving me a thumbs up and letting me know that you like this video. My name is Danie and I'm a hypnotherapist that helps you discover, know, and master your best self. So let's talk about tuning into emotions. First off, one of the things that I find many of us do, me included, for a very long time, was we don't realize what we don't realize. And we often are on this autopilot, right? If you think about, autopilot in the airplanes, right? The pilot puts the airplane on, airplane mode, autopilot mode, and it basically just flies on its own. It just goes and, the pilot's there to kind of redirect it. Well, we are often on autopilot where we don't even realize what might be happening. You see, we know our own normal, and we think that the way things are for us are the way everybody is experiencing it. And in fact, what I learned was that is not the case. I used to think that being stressed all the time, being overwhelmed, not feeling good about myself, my body, my mind was all over the place with negative thoughts. And I'm a pretty optimistic person. I didn't realize that my relationship was not a healthy one and that it was super abusive. I didn't know that because I thought everybody experienced life the way I did. It wasn't until I became aware of how everything was kind of going for me compared to others through really deep conversations, really honest and vulnerable conversations, because I can tell you, I was not the type of person who was gonna call up my bestie and be like, hey girl, this is what's happening. Nope, that was not me. I was the person who kept quiet, who didn't say anything about my relationships to my closest friends, to my family. I kept it all quiet because I felt like if I told them, they would think less of me. So I've gotten over that perfectionism, thank goodness, and I seek help to help me overcome and become aware, mainly, of the things that were going on. Our body and our emotions go hand in hand. They are one and the same together. So let me give you an example. When you're anxious, you might start sweating, right? Or you might start biting your nails, something like that, right? Let's say you're stressed. If you're stressed, you might be holding your muscles really tight and not even realize it. Your shoulders might be raised. You might raise your shoulders. You might be taking short breaths. These are all signs of stress, but oftentimes we think they are normal. I remember the first time I did a meditation on deep relaxation and we relaxed every single part of our body. It was such an amazing experience, but it was also an eye-opening experience because I didn't realize how tight and tense I was. You see, what we had to do was tighten our muscles really, really tight and then release them. Oh my goodness, I was so shocked to realize that that wasn't normal. So our body and our emotions go hand in hand. They're absolutely related. So what I want you to do is next time you're feeling an emotion, I want you to ask yourself, where am I feeling this in my body? Where am I physically feeling this? This is something I often ask my clients when we're working together on different things that they might be feeling. So I ask them where they are feeling it in their body. And oftentimes they weren't even aware that their body was telling them something. As a matter of fact, I was talking to somebody who this past weekend was feeling horrible. She had vertigo symptoms and she couldn't even get out of bed. All she wanted to do was stay in bed, the blanket over her head. She felt really nauseous and just was disconnecting from the world completely. And so I was asking her a couple of things like, well, what do you think caused this, And as we got further into the conversation, what we came to see is that she had not been taking care of herself. Her body had been sending her these signals over and over again, but she wasn't paying attention. And so it finally said, okay, you're going to listen to me. And so it pulled her all the way down to where she couldn't even get out of bed. Now, our body is always telling us something that we are thinking within our mind. As a matter of fact, our thoughts create our emotions. If you think about a song that you hear on the radio, and whether it's a song that takes you back to a happy memory or a sad memory, you're going to feel a certain way, right? So that thought, just by hearing that song, took you to this place, this memory. And as you thought about that memory, these emotions came up. And most likely, your body did something, felt something, adjusted some way. So our bodies and our emotions are highly, highly related. So if you want to tune into your emotions, tune in to what your body's telling you. The last thing I really want to say about this is make sure that you are honoring those emotions and releasing them. Here's the thing, if we don't release our emotions, it creates a toxic environment, not only within ourselves, but also in our outside world. I don't know how many women I've heard who have, overcome cancer, right? Who are in remission, who tell me about when it first started, how stressed they were. One of my dearest friends actually has been in remission for, I want to say 5 years now. And, when she looks back to when it first kind of started, is she was absolutely stressed. And her body was telling her things at that time, and she was not listening. And so it created this toxic environment within her body, right? Now, the other way that emotions can create toxic environments is in our outside world. Sometimes when we're not dealing with our emotions, when we're just kind of stuffing them down, or maybe even not being aware that we're having these feelings, what happens is we dump them on other people. It's funny. I've told the story I don't know how many times, and it's such a great example of how not dealing with our emotions can definitely cause struggles within our relationship. So my love and I, we had just been dating at the time. I think we were only dating for just a few months at the time. And it was on my way home from work, and I decided to stop by his place. We were going to have dinner. I had been having a very, very stressful day. It was a bad day at work. I had gotten on the phone and I had some words with my mother, and it just was like going downhill, right? It just was not a good day. So when I got to his place, he's standing at his stairs and he's like arms wide open, like super happy to see me. And all I could do was yell and scream and be so mad at all the things that had happened. Like, oh, I can't believe it. And I just like threw up all my emotions on him. Didn't even like hug him. Like it was barely like a kind of like a hug, barely like a tap, like a hug. I was like, oh, because I'm so mad. And I was releasing it to him instead of like honoring us first and then taking a step back and be like, baby, I need to talk to you about something because this was such a bad day, right? I just dumped it all. Well, at the time in our relationship and the time on our level of awareness and awakening, we did not handle that very well. We both went into these defense mechanisms that we had put up in the past in relationships. And he right away was like, whoop, okay. And so he went on the defense and was fighting me. And then I was over here like, I'm already having a bad day and now you're fighting me. And so we just went into a very, very downward spiral really quick. And our evening that was supposed to be this beautiful romantic evening turned into a fight. It was one of the worst experiences, but it taught us so much about our emotions and what we're bringing to the table every day. let me kind of recap really quick about why it's important to not only tune into our emotions and then how to do it. So number one, know that you just may be on autopilot and you want to start becoming aware that this might not be normal. What you're experiencing might not be normal. And I'd invite you to talk with a good friend that you trust, or seek some type of, therapist or hypnotherapist, somebody, a professional that you can talk to, where you can get some clarity maybe, and they can point some things out to you that might not necessarily be normal, right? And show you how to kind of overcome them. And so as you start to become aware of these things as not being normal, start to become aware of how your body is reacting to them, and get in tune with your body. Because if you want to get in tune with your emotions, gotta get in tune with your body, because they go hand in hand. And last but not least, make sure that you are feeling and experiencing and then releasing those emotions, and releasing them in a healthy way. I invite you to come on over to Instagram, where I have been sharing all kinds of different ideas about emotions over on my posts and within my stories. You can catch all of that fun over there at Danie C. Muniz. And my friend, as always, if you've liked this video, please, please, please hit that subscribe button. If you haven't, hit that thumbs up button to let me know that you liked this video so I can create more content like this. And last but not least, remember, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and find